planned and prepared. But little did I know that my MacBook was gonna act stupid and funny about allowing YouTube access to the camera. Yes, I denied originally at like every website access to the camera, but I don't. It was not enough time to figure out how to allow YouTube access to my laptop camera, which is where I wanted to do it. That way, I can access your all comments and stuff like that easier. But I couldn't, so I'm on the phone. We gotta make it work. You already know. What up, Tana? Tanya, maybe? Tana? But what up, everybody joining in? I'm not in a rush, so I'm gonna take my sweet little time. Shout out to everybody who's gonna tune in live. Shout out to everybody who catches this after the fact. I greatly appreciate you sliding through and showing your boys some love. You already know, like and subscribe, as they say. So today, what I have for you all, or basically what I just planned on talking about, it's not really like I have something for you, but the conversation that I have planned for you. What up, everybody? Is I want to talk about this book. I love this freaking book. Stevenson is such a great author. Super smart, well researched, and he's got jokes out the wazoo. Anybody who reads, even if you don't read and you like to like do the audiobook thing just to get your information, highly recommend Eat Smarter. I haven't really gotten that far, as you can see. I'm still like in the second chapter, and I've been reading this book for like 2 months. And there's really no reason for that. It's not like I'm in a rush to finish this book, but there's just, a lot of things happening. So I'm taking my time with it. And it's like really energy dense. So the type of reader that I am, like, I'll read up to a certain page, and then when I start to read again, I'll go back a whole nother page and like read, like overlap, just so I can kind of retain the information. And just bear with me if you're leaving comments. I'm not gonna like I think like every 3 minutes I'm gonna check the comments, because as you can see, this is like mad wobbly. Every time I touch the phone, we're gonna do a wobble, and I don't want to take y'all for a ride every 10 seconds. And so after Eat Smarter, what I was planning on talking about is probably anime, because that's the second most pressing thing on my mind right now. Boruto has become such a disappointment, and I want to talk about it. I want to vent. To all my anime heads, all my people who love Naruto, if you are like me and have not many people to talk about and vent about your anime, here we are. Feel free to leave whatever comments you have on whatever anime to share with everybody who's reading the comments. And if you have something specifically to say about Naruto or Boruto, I'll chime in on that. But anime is such a vast subject, I really don't want to go too far into it, because then this whole video will be about anime and manga. Shout out to Jujutsu Kaisen and what's Gigi Akusami, I think is the author's name of Jujutsu Kaisen. Gigi Akutami, something like that. Genius. Can't talk about Jujutsu Kaisen enough. And funny story for everybody, since we're like 4 minutes into the video and you haven't really heard me crack any jokes yet. Funny story. I was reading Jujutsu Kaisen the other night, and the premise of Jujutsu Kaisen is about how curses manifest, and a curse can manifest from any like negative emotion that the public collectively has. So like there could be a curse, at a public school. If enough kids didn't like that school, a curse would develop in that school. And that's pretty much all I'm gonna give you. But I was reading it, and it's pretty scary when you think about it. When you think about like how it could actually be real, if it was actually real. And we all know like we're not supposed to pay attention like that, and it's all fiction, right? Your boy was reading Jujutsu Kaisen the other day. I tried to go to sleep, and I could not go to sleep. I was shook. I actually had to sleep with the light on. I was so shook because I was in bed, and the way the stairs kept creaking, because my where I live, the stairs are very old and creaky. Man, I went up the stairs, got into bed, and the stairs kept creaking. So I was like, Something about 40 to 50 pounds is slowly coming up these stairs to get me. And I was so shook. I slept with the light. I tried to go to sleep with the light off. Could not do it. I was up like this. Like, constantly looking at one eye. Like, is it there yet? Is it coming to kill me yet? I was like, yo, this is the slowest murdering ass demon I've ever come across. I tried to make jokes out of it and still couldn't like shake the fear. So that was funny. Wanted to share that with you. So shout out to Jujutsu Kaisen. And after that, after we talk about anime and Boruto and why I'm so mad at Boruto, I want to talk about Kendrick Lamar album. I think that's like the elephant in every room. Anybody who listens to hip hop, who's a connoisseur of hip hop, who's been waiting for this Kendrick album for what, 4 or 5 years now? I think he disappeared kind of like 2017 after my man won the Nobel Prize. Crazy. Um, he finally comes out with this album that we all been waiting for, and to just harp on it real quick, it's everything I've been waiting for. It's everything that I was expecting from Kendrick. To take it super deep, to give us so many quotables, so many new flows, voices. Like Kendrick is one of the best when it comes to you like what's it called? Manipulating his voice. My homie has like 16 different voices he be using. He be layering his voices and stuff. Like, I'm real proud of him, man. Shout out to Kendrick. Kung Fu Kenny did it again. And he doesn't even really have to make music anymore. Like, I feel him. Like, I feel him on an intrinsic level where he's at now. Like, you've already done the most as a rapper. All you could do. You don't really need to do this no more. But if the love is real and the pen, if God keeps choosing to speak through him, then so be it. All right, so first order of business: eat smarter. Yo, if anybody's listening or tuned in who would like to potentially lose weight, or if they have an issue losing weight, this is the book for you, most definitely. And it's one thing to learn things, but it's another thing to apply them, as we all know. And the cool thing about this book is in the back of it, he has a 30-day meal plan, so you can actually apply it without having to do a lot of guesswork. And what I've learned in this chapter is pretty mind-blowing. One of the first things I wanted to talk about is what truly matters in like weight loss or just being healthy in general, and being mindful of your health when you're eating, is it's not all about caloric intake. A lot of people center that in the argument of eating for health. But it's not really about that. What's really about is knowing your metabolic switches and listen to how they're communicating and be mindful of how you communicate with your metabolic switches. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna keep it 100. I did plan on taking like little statements out of this chapter just to share little tidbits instead of having to go through the whole chapter, but I didn't get around to that. So I'm gonna just go off the top of the head and tell you what I thought was important when I read this chapter. And it's a healthy ass chapter, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's where is it at? It's 34 pages. So I ain't gonna give you 34 pages of reading time. But the main takeaway is your body is just trying to like do its job. Even when it seems like you want to lose weight, right? But you can't. That's because your body is like doing what it's supposed to do. It's just getting mixed signals from what you was doing in the past to what you're now doing. And as you know, everything in moderation. In order to get to it, you gotta go through it. So general knowledge about eating correctly is you want to know what an enzyme is, right? What is an enzyme? An enzyme is a biochemical catalyst that are required for nearly all metabolic processes in the cells that sustain your life. There are a few key enzymes that you need to know about in regard to chasing out fat. And boy, he goes into depth. Like, it gets real sciencey, so I ain't really gonna hold you with all of this. But man, what can I tell you? Glucogen, he has a whole glucogen, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. He goes into a whole like chapter, subsection on glucogen. And it's super important to know why the hell glucagon does what it does. Here it is. Glucagon's efforts are largely the opposites of insulin. Insulin is like, no, I'm not even gonna say that. I was gonna say it's like kind of like adrenaline, the way it communicates with your body, but it's most definitely different. It has some similarities, but it's different. Glucagon drive is to get stored fat out of your cells and out of your liver to give your body the chance to burn it for energy. Glucagon's favorite line is, "You don't have to go home, but you gotta get the hell out of here." And that's the writer I'm talking about. Sean Stevenson is a comic. One of the interesting things about glucagon, one of the interesting things that glucagon does is decrease fatty acid synthesis, the creation of fatty acids in fat tissue and in the liver. Simultaneously, it promotes lipolysis. There we go. It promotes lipolysis in these tissues, which again makes them release fatty acids into circulation where they can be broken down for energy. Part of eating smarter is getting glucagon working for you by shifting your protein/carb ratio. And that's pretty much what I wanted to share with you about glucagon to keep it pushing. So what he's talking about here in like the beginning of this chapter is hormones. And how, so what a hormone is every organ in your body produces these hormones, and they're basically just chemical signals that one organ sends to another, so everybody can be on the same page and working synergetically. And there's a few hormones that you want to understand, one of them being glucagon and insulin. Bam. And another, which I'm sure we already know about, is cortisol. Cortisol is super important because it's related to your stress levels. And just to touch on that real quick, one of the things that gets insulin riled up is his good friend cortisol. Cortisol is like Bruce Banner, the Incredible Hulk. When it's functioning normally, it's remarkably intelligent, helpful, motivating, and supportive. But when cortisol is elevated and out of balance, all it really likes to do is smash stuff. Cortisol helps to manage your blood pressure, regulate inflammation, balance your blood sugar, support your thyroid function, and more. But when cortisol gets angry, each and every one of those systems can get messed up. One of the hardest places hit by an overly aggressive cortisol is your thyroid function. In a conversation I had with physician and New York Times bestselling author Dr. Amy Myers, she shares with me how excess cortisol can depress thyroid activity in many different ways. One is the direct impact the presence of cortisol has by signaling your hypothalamus and pituitary gland to slow down the release of TRH and TSH, which is one of those chemicals that I was telling you about, like those enzymes that I was telling you about earlier, that I don't want to get into it because it's way too science heavy. But another way, cortisol's ability to convert free T3, the gas pedal for your thyroid metabolism, into reverse T3, which is the brakes for your thyroid metabolism. And yet another way is through cortisol's dirty dancing routine with inflammatory immune cells called cytokines. Hope I said that right. Don't be mad at me, cytokines, if I pronounced your name wrong. They make your thyroid receptors less sensitive to thyroid hormones. And this is just a snapshot of how cortisol can put your whole metabolism in the corner. So those are the three biggies to do your knowledge on if you're into regulating your metabolic switches. Your insulin, your glucagon, and your cortisol. Bah. We're already eating smarter, right? Look at us knowing all these fancy terms and whatnot. So, another important part of this chapter that he was talking about is appetite dysregulation. And many people are struggling to try and eat less when we're encouraged to eat a lot of food in our culture, especially that old American diet that we be eating. I think our portions are way too big. I kind of think the French have it right when they come out in little portions, like 5 at a time. I don't know if it's the French or Italians who do that, but whoever does that, they got it right. Eating in small portions and like spacing it out in time. But what he's basically talking about in this part is something called leptin. Leptin is the subject line of an email message. No. Leptin, derived from the Greek word leptos, means thin, was just discovered a couple short decades ago. And prior to that, science widely considered excessive appetite to be a matter of willpower. Fortunately, we learned that dysfunction of this hormone can be behind many of our challenges with metabolism and food. And me, myself, who craves a lot, especially sweets, this is why leptin was important to me. Leptin is the leader of your body's satiety hormones. Satiety is a fancy word for, what's it called? Satisfaction. There we go. For your satiety hormones. It travels from your fat cells to your bloodstream and makes its way to the master controller of your appetite in the Godfather's office, aka your hypothalamus. Leptin literally gives the intel that signals your brain to stop eating. So if you're craving and your appetite is out of function or proper function and dysregulation, you might want to look at your leptin levels and your leptin resistance. Bang. And the rest is pretty much straightforward. And I just wanted to read this last part. Metabolic Mastery. Here's where he ties it all in. As we know, the end of chapters is where all of us readers get all of that crazy information that we was cramming our heads with into one condensed little piece and snippet. So this is why I like this part. We've successfully broken down many of the key players that regulate your metabolism to truly put the power in your hands. That's why this book is so dope, because you don't really need a dietitian or a doctor or some professional certified with a certification. All the power is within you, especially if you take it in your hands. Now that you know how body fat burns for fuel, how your appetite is actually controlled, and the three amigos that can sabotage the whole thing, which was, if you remember, cortisol, glucogen, and insulin. Ah, that boy got that memory. You'll finally be sending them on their merry way and tapping into your fat burning potential. And then he talks about in the next chapters what he's going to be talking about, which is applying all the knowledge that we've covered so far. So that's my synopsis of chapter 2. Super dense. I tried to skirt around things to like just keep it all in one package for you so you can kind of easily understand and not throw so many sciencey words at you. But definitely check out that book for more. I'm gonna check out what's going on in these comments real quick. Bear with me. How do I get the bumbleclot? The comments will pop up. I see them popping up every once in a while. Here we go. There's one. This is so... I do not want to use a phone for this. And this is the reason why. This is the reason why. She says, Johannes asked me what's my rising sign. I'm a Virgo. But where are the rest of the comments at, bro? Yeah, so I don't even know. Like, I don't think I'm gonna be able to pick up your comments and stuff. So sorry if you commented a question or you had something to say and you wanted me to touch on that. One of these days, I'm gonna figure out how to get YouTube on my computer so I can actually scroll back. Because as I click on this comment button right here, it's, oh, bong, now I want to work. Okay, bong, I just had to do it twice. 2 times is a charm. Yo, what up? Sorry for putting my finger in the camera. 36 people in here, that's popping. Whoa. Yeah, okay. I'm not even gonna repeat that. Sending infinite peace, love, and light. What up, conscious beauty? Yeah, there's shooters in here. I ain't even have to. Yeah, man, people got opinions, strong ones, and that's just what we're all entitled to our opinions and our perspectives. That's what we're gonna talk about with the Kendrick album later. The first thing he opens up the album with is, oh no, that's not even how he opens up the album, but the heart part number 5, he opens up with life is perspective, and he said as he's getting older, he realized, bro, you just not realizing that. But we gonna get on that Kenny album. We gonna get on that Kenny album, and it don't look like nobody's really asking any questions. So we straight off that. It looks like y'all finding each other. Shout out to 95% Angel. She said insulin stores energy. Bomb. We know that. We know that. Why we know it? Because you told us. Do you have an affiliate link for the book? Because I'm going to buy it. Nah, I don't. Unfortunately, I don't. That's my guy though. He looked out for me. That's what I'm gonna do in the inbox, the mail time a little bit later to show you what Sean Stevenson sent your boy. I didn't think he was gonna send me nothing, but he did. Um, Jesus loves me. I believe that. Bam. A lot of Christians follow me. I think that's dope. I think that's dope. Just so if anybody's ever interested, I don't really believe in Jesus per se, and I'll tell you why. Because the letter J did not exist till the year 1530 something. So how is homie's name in Jesus if the letter J didn't exist back then? So I don't. If the man that they talk about in the Bible was historically correct, they should at least use homie's real name, and then you should ask yourself, why did they change his name? If that's really the case, you know what I mean? But I think the Bible is a cool book. Like if you are looking for a moral compass, if you're looking for some good allegorical stories, if you're interested in seeing how good writers are, because I mean, the Bible is a great work of art, not for nothing. Like whether you think it's historical fact or not, like that book is one of the highest highest selling books of all time, and there's a reason for that. And it's, I mean, it just sways so many people's lives. And not only the Bible, if you're really into like religious works of art, read the Quran. I highly recommend that. Read what's it called, the Torah. Don't read the Talmud unless you want to be pissed off. The Talmud is a little off the hinges. Shout out to Palestine too. That being said, uh-huh. Have you been to Five Points of Riverside? Yes, I have, Marissa Fuller. I'm actually in Five Points so often. If you're in grassroots, I'm almost in there like every other day getting a smoothie. They got local grass-fed meat. And that's what that if I do buy meat, that's what I try to get. I try to get local grass-fed. And they're one of the few places that have it. So shout out to grassroots, even if they do tax a little bit, like on stage, for instance, I got a shade stick in there for like $11 because I ain't know no better. But you should definitely go to Midnight Sun, and this is for people in the Jacksonville area. Definitely go to Midnight Sun to get your sage. Don't get it from grassroots because they super taxing in there. Yo, just keep the comments up here. They want to disappear the comments so much. She said, "Oh no, not no religious talk." Yeah. Johannes said it. Jesus is Horus from Egypt. The stories are strikingly similar, and one did exist before the other, so you would just have to look into that if you're interested in that. Struggle streaming, for real. Struggle streaming. That's exactly what I'm doing. I was trying to figure it out on the laptop. All right, so I think that covers all the comments. We're gonna leave that for there for now. Excited to see what in the mail. I'm excited to show you what I got in the mail. Um, it is a library comprised of many books, indeed. Many books that they chose to put in, and many books that they chose to leave out, such as the Gospel of Barnabas. If you ever get your hands on the Gospel of Barnabas, woo! Mind blower. All right, so we did Smarter, we did comments. What's next? We gonna talk about my favorite motherfuckers. Ooh, I gotta move the camera back a little bit. Your boy's about to get emanated talking about anime. Everybody who knows me, I hope knows that I'm the biggest Naruto fan, self-proclaimed, in the world. I have the entire DVD collection, every movie. I've got a Naruto headband that's like sacred to me. Like it's one of the few things that I haven't lost and I will never lose. It's a family heirloom. I'm handing that down. And I say all that to say, I was so excited when Masashi Kishimoto Senpai, you came out with the best thing ever. You let us see Naruto finally be Hokage and his best friend Sasuke right on his side, even though Sasuke only got one arm now, so he just, you know. But it was so dope, and I was so grateful and so happy that they did that. I said in the very beginning, and I still hold this near and dear to my heart. I don't care how trash Boruto is as an anime, if it ever is declared in fact trash. We'll talk more about that. As long as I get to see Naruto finally be Hokage and handle his Hokage duties, because I listened to this man talk about it for years, how he was going to be Hokage. So yes, he's Hokage, and his son is a splendid ninja. Shout out to every splendid ninja. But unfortunately, Boruto has taken a turn for the worst, and not him as a character. I think his character is very strong. I think all of the characters have strongly written characters, and I'm into every one of the characters, just like I was in Naruto. But this last arc with the Funato, I want to say, hey Siri.
Yes?
The last Boruto arc, is it the Funato arc? What does she even know what I'm talking about? She probably don't. She don't know. All right, my bad. Let me ask you a different question. Let me type it out. But y'all know what I mean. Let's just call it the Funato arc, even though I'm probably mispronouncing it. I feel like I am. Yo, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? With the camera panning to the camera panned to the sky one time. There was a whole fight scene going on under the camera, and they wanted to save animation money, I guess, because it's too much money to animate fight scenes. They wanted to save money, so they just made us watch the sky while we listened to the fighting sounds. That thoroughly pissed me off. I felt like they didn't care about the viewer at all to let that slide. You could have gave me some crappy animation, or figured out an interesting way, like every other animation in the world, to just have like the character stand still and put like a cool background to like kind of convey the interpretation that he's doing this really fast movement. They didn't even do that. They just put a bunch of fighting sounds and made us look at the sky. And I was like, yo, what's going on with this anime? And then for like the past 3 or 4 episodes, I'm just sad. I'm sad about it. And I just wanted to vent and tell people that I'm sad about the way Boruto has turned out. And I hope all true Naruto fans don't they don't lose love for Boruto or Naruto just because of the last arc. Because if you keep up with the manga is on point. Like the next chapter comes out in a few days, it's gonna be crazy. It is gonna be crazy. I highly suggest you could skip the whole Boruto anime. You don't need none of that. It's not even similar. It is similar to the manga, but the manga is like canon. The anime right now is like filler. It doesn't even have like, maybe it's character building, but it's not working for me, bro. So Boruto as an anime for a while, I'm probably not even gonna watch it. Like I was so upset with the last episode. I was like, why am I so excited, getting so excited to see these freaking episodes, and they're giving me filler. Not even like things that make sense. Like Habichigo, I don't want to, this is a huge spoiler, but Habichigo is one of the she's not like a main character, but she's an important character. She's from a different village. Bro, she got one shot. The same thing that hit other people around and they was like, oh, that really hurt. It killed Hibikiko. And she was supposed to be like one of the strongest shinobi. Or Kenochi, I should say. So with that said, I think I'm going to digress off the Boruto talk. I just wanted to really vent about my disgust with it as an anime. But the manga is still popping to this day. The manga is still popping to this day. Highly recommended. Let's see what's going on. All right, looks like not much is going on. Shout out to all the people who's sticking with me. I know it's like, yo, why is your camera bouncing up and down? Nana. Y'all having a whole full-blown conversations in the comment sections. Love is love. All right, so that covers that. And I think now the video is almost a half hour, so we're gonna get into the nitty-gritty, which is Kendrick Lamar, baby. My guy dropped this album after 8 years, and I had very high expectations. I'm a very tough critic on artists, especially established artists, because they have so many resources. And my man did not disappoint. From the very first song, I was like, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm a little biased too. Like I have such high expectations that I knew it was gonna be crazy. But when he came out with the first song, I'm gonna just pull up. Bear with me, because this is one thing I gotta pull up. I gotta pull this up. We about to go through the lyrics and all of that, yo. True indeed. I'm not even gonna hold you. Oh man, now title's like log in. Come on, bro. Just, you know who I am. Streaming struggle. That's exactly what's happening. Title is asking me for my password. I don't know my password. Hold up, y'all. Hold up. Gosh, dog it. Maybe? No, wrong. Nope. Alright. I gotta go get my other phone. Bear with me, I'll be right back. Alright, boom. Shout out to everybody who's smart enough to keep their passwords someplace where they can read them. I'm like, well, I just told you where I keep mine, but good luck getting this off of my dead body. You on my dead body, I'll clench that mom. I thought I gave it this password first. Why are you playing with me? Yeah, title know what time it is. Yo, just take me to the music, man. Stop playing with me. Do you want to manage your account? No, I want to go listen to music. Specifically, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Bam. Now, I'm not going to play this because I don't want to get hit with the copyright. Your boy trying to make it twerk. Right there, with the first bar. You see where he's at with it. I mean, we all, if you follow Kendrick, you kind of know that dude is a deep thinker. So people who think deeply, it's hard for us to find peace of mind sometimes, shall I say. In the very least. So I'm not really going to talk about the lyrics to the first one. I just think it's dope how an artist can be so vulnerable, especially in hip hop nowadays, where the MO of rap is just to like, it's kind of always been to be a braggart and talk about what you got and how good you doing in life. So for arguably the most successful rapper of our time, outside of the light-skinned dude from Toronto, outside of him, to start off his album just talking about mental health, keep it at that. I'm gonna jump to the second track because the second one is where I was like, yo, he did that. He did that.
World, all the boys and girls. I
I
got
got
some
some stories to tell. He said, I got some true stories to tell. He said, you back outside, but they still lied. Whoa. What does that mean? You back outside, but they still lied. Ooh. The subs on that. I hope that went over nobody's head. I hope that went over nobody's head. But there's some bars, man, in this that I wanted to. He's just basically talking about take off, take it off, take it off, take off the food, take off the cloud chase, take off the Wi-Fi, take off the money phone, take off the car loan, take off the flax and the white lie, yo, and yo, Kendrick, he's one of the few rappers I would say I feel like he kind of one takes his verses, because a lot of rappers nowadays they'll give you like 2 or 4 bars, punch in, punch out, and then punch back in, and where I realized this is in that video, the Heart Part 5, because he actually says that whole thing. Breath control as a rapper is so crucial, and he's one of the best at it. He makes me want to speed up my raps, and I don't have no problem rapping slow the way I be rapping. But when I listen to him, I'm like, yo, that sounds fun. Like when you out on stage performing, and you just rocking that fast, and you just saying the craziest stuff, hoping that everybody catches it, but because of the speed of in which you're saying it, it probably flies over so many heads. Um, there was any standout lyrics? Was there any standout lyrics in N95 that anybody wants to share in the comment? Definitely throw that in the comment. We could talk about that because this is where I kind of wanted to spend the most time. I'm not even going to hold you. Video's about 30 minutes. We've been talking about this for 7. This video might be like an hour, an hour long by the time we're done with this video. Yeah, man. So I guess yeah, there's really nothing to point out special besides the fact that the song is called N95, and he says take it off like a whole bunch of times. Somebody should count how many times he says take it off, and I'm sure there's a reason behind that number. Like that's how intricate and just deep Kendrick is as an artist. Like there's this one song he has with Pusha T, and he's using like numerology in this verse, and like it is not until you go add up the numbers that he's using in his verse do you understand what he's like, the end of the verse, and how he tied up some, it seems like random numbers that he's rapping about, but when you add up the numbers it adds up to like 40 birds or something. I think that's the name of the song, 40 birds. It's deep. But if I was gonna be a rapper, that's how. If I was gonna be a rapper, how I'd be sounding. If I would be a rapper, I am a rapper. But he's setting the standard right now as far as lyricism and authorship for me. Worldwide Steppers was dope. I like the whole concept of the title, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, because Big Steppers is just like if you rap and you calling somebody a big stepper, that means they got it good. Basically they got a whole lot of resources at their disposal, and they make stuff happen wherever they go. That's why they call big steppers. Like there's no hurdle that they can't overcome. And I guess it's kind of like synonymous with being like a kind of a show off as a big stepper too, because big steppers are out in front, and Mr. Morale is like, yo, there's people dying randomly in the street. There's poverty. He's trying to point the conversation to morality, whereas big steppers are pointing the conversation to, yo, look at what I got. Look how good I'm doing. So right there, you see the dichotomy that he's on. So you kind of get a feel for what the album's going to be about, and the way he executed that point. It's just masterful. Like people like rappers, especially nowadays, like to brag about how quick they do things. And I think this speaks well to the point of why you can be patient and take your time. Because when you have deep thoughts, they need to be well thought out. Like they don't need to be well thought out. but should be. And he thinks about things on a real deep spiritual level, like, and I think that was dope. So Worldwide Steppers was dope. Yo, Father Time, when he's talking about, it's a big conversation in the world in general. I think in the community, especially the people who tune into this channel, like mental health. We've all come into this space where we're kind of realizing like how much our childhood affects our behavior as an adult, like, and also helping us realize that a lot of us have like trauma that we need to heal that we might not have even been aware of. Like if somebody would have asked you 5, 6 years ago, as you did you have a traumatic childhood, you'd be like, nah, my childhood's pretty dope. But because of Nicole LePera, which shout out to her, the holistic psychologist on Instagram, I think she's brought a lot of that to the forefront. I don't know if she did it single-handedly, but for me, I read her book and it was mind-blowing how traumatic my childhood was that I didn't even realize, you know. And trauma is basically like, if something should have happened to you and didn't, that's traumatic. If something shouldn't have happened to you and did, that's also traumatic. So there's, I would say like 0.125% of us who didn't have any trauma. Like your parents were the she's, you had everything you needed, you had community, family support. Like less than 1% of us did not have a traumatic childhood. So definitely check out Nicole LePera's book, The Holistic Psychologist, if you're looking to dive deeper into that, what I'm talking about. Circling it back to the Kendrick Lamar album, he's talking about having daddy issues and how the relationship between him and his dad, in relationship also with his mom, his dad, and him, and how all of that played out. And that really sat with me like in a deep-seated area, because I didn't really have a mom like that, but I definitely experienced my father enough to feel like I can relate to a lot of what he's talking about. Like if you fall, your daddy's like, yo, that ain't hurt, get up. Don't cry, get up. You don't want to be no pussy. You don't want to be no, you know what I mean? So like, for a rapper to go on a limb and talk about that, you gotta give that credit alone, and then to execute on a sonic level, a lyric level, like yo, I really like. I wish we could listen to this together, but you already know that's not about to happen. One of my favorite songs on the whole entire 2-part album is Rich Spirit. Like that, I wanna, yo, let's play that real quick. That's probably all I could play before I get snapped. This, yo, whoever mixed this song down is a genius. I'm gonna say that. Whoever mixed Rich Spirit down, like I should go look in the credits. Shout out to them. You mixed the hell out of that song. I was in the car listening to it, and the way the song travels from one side to the other side, it makes, yo, oh, it's beautiful. It gives you like goosebumps when you listen to it. Rich Spirit is the name of the song. Can't recommend that enough. Like, check that out. Yo, my man's lyricism is just like, I'm a good man, shake your hand, firm grip rule. 72 days, lost 10, balling with the flu. More than 2 hands for sure, but add another 2. Little man, the big man's GT diamond flipping with the kickstand. Ooh. Man, like I said, I wish I could listen to it so I can like play it so you can hear it, then I can stop it, and then we can repeat what he just said so we can really like let the lyrics hit home. But Rich Soul is like probably my favorite joint on that whole album. And I think this next joint is what this is gonna change hip hop forever. If it's this song, yo, the first 3 or 4 days this album was out, I only listened to like the first 2 songs because Aura was with me and she was doing the most. She wasn't letting me try to really listen to it like how I wanted it to. And I give my daughter all my attention when she's here. I'm gonna just tell you that right now. So anything that I want to give substantial amount of attention to is just put on hold till I don't have her. Unfortunately, yo, that should be a whole nother live. We should talk about being a single parent and how you gotta modify your entire living living as a human. Like I literally can live like 1 week at a time, and then when she's here, since I don't really have help like that, um it's just me and her, man. So I'm like laser focused on Aura. But swinging it back, we cry together. I don't know who Taylor Page is. I don't think it's his wife, but Shorty's voice, her performance on that song, game changing. Like I think Nas touched this earlier in a song. I think it's a song called "Live Now," where he's talking about like a shorty having AIDS and whatever. But him and that girl did a really good job of telling a story. I've never heard it done before ever. And this song is about, you could assume, him and his baby moms, maybe probably before or right when he was blowing up, or maybe even now. I don't know, because sometimes he talks about like them not having a lot, and then he was talking about how his mom bought his girl a Civic. Yo, oh, the lyrics, the lyrics. So yeah, the reason why I brought up Aura is because in the very beginning of the song, they cursing at each other. It's like F you, nah, F you, nah, F you. And when I played that and I looked at Aura, I was like, nah, I can't do that to my baby. That might be traumatizing to her. I don't want her to hear stuff like that. But when I got to hear it, I thought it was a little bit much. But you gotta make the listener as an artist feel uncomfortable, and so when they're uncomfortable, now they're asking themselves, why am I here? And then you give them the reason why they should stay, and he executes on that, yo, like, and then going through what I just went through, even though Valet and we never had to argue like that. It was relatable, you know what I mean? Like you don't necessarily hear anybody, me personally, I've never heard a rapper talk about relationship issues, describe relationship issues. This could be a play. This could be like a Broadway play, this song. We Cry Together. So We Cry Together might be like my second favorite, but sonically, yeah, no, it's definitely my second favorite. I was gonna say sonically it's not, but Shorty's performance on that, the way she was like crying through spitting her lyrics, and like her voice was giving out while she was spitting it. I know Kendrick was like, she was like, oh, I want to do it again. Kendrick was like, nah, that was perfect. The emotion on that was crazy. And the standout lyrics is like they talking crazy to each other, but the only thing he really like gets mad at her for saying is when she says that she would fuck somebody else. Excuse my language. He's like, what you say? I thought that was funny. Like, it's dope to have a funny, deep, heartfelt song that's addressing something very serious and still find a way to put humor in it. Like, that's what I aspire to do as a channel here in iNero. On this channel on YouTube, I want to talk about the most serious, heartfelt, like things that are almost uncomfortable to talk about, because I don't really like superficial conversations. So I want to get deep with y'all, but I also want to keep it like super comical. Another channel on YouTube that I think does that real well is called Belief in Fatherhood. It's a dope channel. Dope channel. So yeah, that's that. The last song in the first part is called Purple Hearts, and he's talking about like the main preface of that song is when love is talking, you gotta shut up. And I dig that. I'm gonna digress off of that, but that's a perfect motto to live by. Is like when love is talking, just listen, yo. It's love talking. You don't need to talk over love. Just listen to love. So part 2, volume 2. I don't know why he broke these up. Like he could have honestly just let this be like one entire album. I'm interested to find out why he broke it into two different volumes, because I didn't see that much of a difference. Maybe we can figure it out here. Has anybody said anything about this album yet? Let me see. Let me check the comments. Yo, Lost Ones, yeah, J. Cole, bang bang. Oh, Taylor's an actress. Okay, so we talking about the Kendrick. Y'all with me? I just wanted to make sure y'all was with me, cause it stopped popping up. Yeah, when he included the Eckhart Tolle, I was like, Kendrick. I mean, we all know that he's a reader, so I shouldn't be surprised. But whenever somebody mentions, anybody in the world mentions an author that not many people, I mean, Eckhart Tolle is worldwide renowned for sure. A lot of people know about him, but still, not many people read for one, and then people who read as a collective don't all know who Eckhart Tolle is. And I feel like after reading him, everybody should know who he is. Oh, he coming to Georgia. That's what's up. July 30. Thank you, Asia. I want to say your name is Miss Dansby. I'll say. Thank you for putting me on, because I did not know that, and I definitely need to cop them tickets before they sell out, because I'm pretty sure he'll sell out in Atlanta. I might have to travel to some whatever state is still open. Like, that's how much I want to see him perform before he stops performing, or before I die, or something like that. Like, if I would have had a chance to see Pac or Biggie perform while he was alive, I would have traveled across state lines to see that. So there's no way that I'm gonna let Kendrick get anywhere close to me and not go see that. All right, so we got a substantial amount of comments about this album. It looks like. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, because I do want to have a conversation. I don't want to just talk to the camera. Oh wow, it won't even let me scroll up that much. Somebody said, when was that? 4:38. It's 5 now. Damn, that was a half hour ago. Do I believe in giants? I heard recently there was a giant found in Afghanistan or something like that. So who am I to not believe in it? I hope they real. I hope humanity realize that we're not alone. Like, I feel like that's the biggest, most pertinent fact. And giants, aliens, whatever you want to believe in, humans are not alone. You can look in the ocean. You could go look, take a microscope and look at the drywall in your house, and you will see little microorganisms that you had no idea were there, living and thriving. Shoo, probably like a good 30% of your body is not even you. Does not share any DNA with you whatsoever, but it's in you and it's making you live. So anybody who really doesn't believe and or can say that they don't believe in giants, aliens, dare I say, the Easter Bunny, even Jesus. Oh, ooh, I digress. Weird that I'm in the city, Kayana Jordan. I kind of agree with that. It's weird that I was born and raised in the city, moved to the house hidden in the leaves, and now I'm back in the city, a city that I once lived in. And what's even, nah, I'm gonna digress on that. Oh, okay. I did read this before. Uh, yo, my inner YouTube viewer is like, yo, I don't want to just look at your face, so make a joke or something. Here's a joke. When does a dad joke become a dad joke? I'll count down to like 10 and let you kind of shout at the screen what you think the answer is. Yeah, you could definitely tell Kendrick did a lot of shadow work, bro. And I feel like we always do that, but it's like there's certain phases that we go through in life where it exponentially speeds who we are up, and like we would just become a different person. So the answer to that joke, when does a joke become a dad joke, is when it becomes apparent. Boom, boom. Oh yeah, count me out. Count me out is definitely one of my favorites. Count me out was like one of my first favorites, and then I went back and listened to it. What up, Audie? Say what up to Roche for me. Crown was a dope one. Which one was Crown? I forgot which one that was. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I love how acoustic this album is too. Like, I think that's why Rich Spirit stands out so much to me because it's like a lot of synthesizer, uh, uh, what's the word? Ambiance or musical treatment, I want to say, in that song. But the rest of the album is pretty much like pianos, guitars, bass, samba. Like he's using a lot of instruments, and I love that because it translates well to a performance. And I think Kendrick is in a spot now in his life where he's like, yo, I want to go record a song. So he calls up his favorite drummer, he calls up his favorite guitarist. They get in like a garage and just go at it. And yo, how dope is that? What up? Yeah, I love how people really be knowing these artists like whole sun charts. I guess because all you gotta do is Google their birthdays and then you can go do it yourself. Somebody said Pusha T is the GOAT. I can agree with that. He definitely is one of the GOATs. But there was a time where I was like, in the Clips era, I was like, yo, these dudes, I don't like these dudes, man. Because I think that's when I was starting to wake up and like Clips had just come out and it was all about selling crack. And I was trying to move away from that. So I was like, I wasn't trying to give him the time of day. It's crazy how, what's the other homie's name? The other half of the Clips? I forgot his name. But he's like a preacher now. Yo, I also like to like read books on Audible as well. So like I can kind of take a break from my with my eyes and listen to it, but like really get back into it while reading. All right, so this is 57 minutes long. I don't want it to be too long, and I still gotta do the mail time. So let me kind of like speed read through these comments real quick. Stick with me, y'all. Stick with me. Look at this forehead. You can see a whole movie playing out in there. Can you see it? Can you see it? No, probably not. I'm not see-through. Remember when see-through used to be like a pejorative? Yo, you see-through, son. You see-through. It's a way of calling somebody weak. Yeah, you got to see that damn toy. Woo! All right. I hope I didn't miss nobody. Speed read, speed read. Struggle streaming. Yeah, Marissa, you said it. It was definitely like watching a play. Cry together. Yeah, yo, let's talk about it. See, that's one thing I can touch on is the normalization of toxic relationships. And this has nothing to do with nobody who you know. I'm gonna just say that, right? I don't think my last relationship was toxic at all. We did a good job of like, oh, this ain't working. Oh, all right. Well, damn, sucks. And we did what we had to do. We ain't do a lot of back and forth. But yeah, so to harp on toxic relationships, I just wanted to harp on that real quick because growing up where I grew up in Yonkers, it was a normal thing. Like, and toxic is such a vague word. I don't really like to use it. But what I mean when I say toxic is like just unhealthy. I think that's what the term generally means. It's just unhealthy. Like even if you're deeply in love with somebody, you can have such strong enamoration is the word I want to say. Hey Siri, is enamoration a word? Nope, it ain't.
Okay, I found this on the web for is enamoration a word.
But
check it out.
The word I was looking for is like when you're enamored with somebody. It's a fancy way of saying that you love somebody, but you can love somebody so much, and I don't think loving people is unhealthy per se itself, but what we do because we love people can be self-destructive. And some people overlook that. I would say a large amount of people overlook that. Like, it's like, oh, I love you. You're like, because I love you, I'm going to allow you to obstruct my boundaries constantly. And boundaries are so important, people. If you learn anything from this channel, boundaries. Well, yeah, we'll talk about that one day. Yo, come on, bring up my chat. There we go. Okay, caught up to that. Yo, but let's just say this too about Cole, right? J. Cole, I'm talking about when I say Cole. Before the Kendrick album dropped, I said, yo, J. Cole is in control of this universe right now because that verse he did on Benny the Butcher joint, what's it called? Saluting my memory right now. But that verse he did with Benny the Butcher, his feature on Benny the Butcher's song. How do you as an artist agree to feature on a song, someone else's song? And I guess it was pretty slick because Benny the Butcher was like, if it don't apply, I'll let it fly. He wasn't talking about me. Benny, he was talking about you, bro. He ain't really talking about nobody else. Like, Benny said, I think he's talking to the people like on his level of the rap game. Nobody on J. Cole's level of rap. And when I'm talking about his level, I'm talking about the big three. I'm talking about the light-skinned dude from Toronto and Kenny from Compton. Those two dudes is like really his only competition to me, in my opinion. They don't really have drug and gun bars like that. And I'm sure people who listen to Benny the Butcher or Griselda in general, like we like their music because sonically it sounds good and they got bars and boys be spitting. Except Westside Gun, he don't really be spitting like that. I don't care. You could at me all day. We could argue about that. Westside Gun do not really be spitting like that. He just got a unique sounding voice and he goes the whole song. Oh no, boom 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 boom. Like when I heard him do that, I was like, he's making a mockery of hip hop. Y'all know that, right? And the fact that he got so big, it's beyond me. But it is what it is. But circling back to the Benny the Butcher song with J. Cole. What is it called? Because I keep John P's Caddy is what the song is called. I don't even know why they I don't even know who Johnny P is. I gotta look that up later. But the way Cole was coming at Benny on his own song spoke volumes to me, because I was like, yo, Benny the Butcher is one of the rappers who they wanna be included in the conversation with the best. So for somebody to tell you or show you why you are so far away from them on your own song, like it was like I want to say it was kind of like what Eminem did to Jay-Z on Renegades. Like Eminem completely outclassed Jay-Z, even though Jay-Z had bars, don't get me wrong. But M was like, he was like, oh, you want me on a song, Jay-Z? Okay, I'm gonna show you how like good I'm a rap. So it was one of those moments like where that verse was just, I mean, yo, dude, let's talk about it. Let's go to the lyrics. Come on, Tyler, stop playing with me. Thank you. Who did that beat? I think it was Alchemist.
You know, this shit don't feel as good as it looks.
Oh, let me stop before they hit me. Benny's verse, when I heard Benny's verse, I was like, woo, Benny's spitting. But that's what I expect from Benny. But I could tell he kind of dug deep for that, because he was rhyming in the middle, he was rhyming in the beginning, he was rhyming at the end of his lines. Whenever a rapper, you hear them rhyme and they take rhymes from the beginning and use them in the middle, and from the middle and use them in the beginning, and it's not just all ending statements or rhymes at the end of the statements. That's how you know a rapper is digging deep. Half rhymes. He's one of the kings of the half rhyme. Half rhyme, if you don't know, it means it doesn't rhyme exactly, but if you say it right out your mouth, it sounds like it rhymes real good. So yeah, Cole was talking about, he sets the stage on the beginning. On the night he was born, the rain was pouring, God was crying, lightning struck, power outage, sparks was flying. That's so visual. And that's the thing that makes Cole one of the greats, is like he's not telling you he raps with imagery, which is what Benny did exactly in his verse. He's literally said, I rap with imagery, and that's what makes me so good. Cole's like, pause, let me actually rap with imagery without saying I rap with imagery. So he's just painting this picture about God crying, lightning striking, power outage, sparks flying. Like it kind of reminded me of like when T-1000 and Terminator like appeared, or even when Terminator appeared. It was like that type of moment. Like I got exactly what he was talking about. And yeah, he says around the outlines the chalks where the corpse is lying. Of course I'm trying to revive a sports is dying, but the guns and the drug balls that y'all relying got these nerves thinking that you in words hard as iron. But that just means yeah, I ain't as comfortable as y'all is lying. He's talking to you, Benny. I don't know how. Yo, if I was Benny and I heard that, I understand why you want to tell yourself that. I don't apply to you, but bro, I'm positive. Everybody who heard that, their first thought was, he's talking to you. He's talking about you on your own track. So, yeah. I just had to go off on a side rant about J. Cole real quick because I thought he was the GOAT for doing that. And then Kendrick dropped the album. And not to say that I forgot about Cole, because you can't forget about Cole, but I was like, Cole was just irrelevant to me at that moment. Unless Cole drops an album in the next couple of weeks, he's not gonna be relevant for the next couple of months, I want to say. And so like the Mr. Morale Big Stepper thing kind of dies down. All right, let's go back to the comments. Let's check in with them. Let's check in with the people. All right, so I caught up with the Cole comment. Now let's scroll. Let's scroll. This is difficult, yo. I gotta figure out how to do this on the computer. Yo, who's a Gemini? Kendrick, right? That's dope because Aura's a Gemini as well. So I'm excited to experience that and test out if y'all astrology folks know what y'all talking about. If she really does have like split personalities. Power now, definitely get that. Yo, Florence, are you making fun of me because I'll be laughing at myself? It's all good. Sometimes you gotta laugh at yourself. Tap dancing in between the tracks, yo, that was such a, that might be overlooked too because I think that keeps the listener like on their toes, literally, like proverbially. Now that I said it out loud, jeez, how genius was that? Poetic Visual said, "When I'm feeling toxic, I listen to We Cry Together to release for real, because hopefully your relationship isn't that dramatic." I found it dope how they was cursing each other out throughout that whole song, and at the end they decided to make love to each other. And you might want to call that toxic, but that's how it be playing out. When is the next time I'll be up in Columbus? Oh, if you don't know, now you know. My baby's birthday is in 2 days. So I will be up in Columbus for that, to hang out with her. And also to see my puppers, yo. I miss my dogs. I miss Rumi. I haven't hung out with them since the beginning of March. And it is now mother freaking May, the end of May. Oh, Malice. Yeah, that was his name. Malice is a preacher now. Miss Jones said, "Are the DMs open?" I don't know what you're talking about, Miss Jones. I think I know what you're talking about, but I'm acting like I don't know what I'm talking about. The only way to find out if the DMs are open is to actually DM. Sometimes you just gotta shoot your shot and see who you land. Hello, individual. How are you accomplishing today? I'm a neophyte here. What subject are we emitting about? Wow, Mr. Cato. What a way to write a comment. I will say that. All Sagittariuses want freedom. I could agree with that. That being said, I don't feel like I've ever infringed on anyone's freedom ever. Cleo said, Drake is so meh. Okay, what about Freddie Gibbs? Yo, Cleo, are you still here? It is Cleo, right? Cleo Phoenix, not Chloe. For some reason, I can't differentiate Cleo from Chloe. Every time I see him, it's the same word. So apologies for that. But Miss Phoenix, what about Freddie Gibbs? Freddie Gibbs used to be my. He still is my guy. He still is my guy. I'm not even gonna hold you. I really enjoy Freddie Gibbs as an artist. I enjoy his music. I enjoy him as a personality. I think he has one of the greatest voices of today in the hip hop genre. But maybe he moves a little bit. Maybe he moves a little funny. I don't know. Maybe he moves just a tad bit. Just a tad bit weird. Why do I say that? I don't know. I think when I saw him hanging out with Joe Rogan, maybe it was because I was jealous that he got to hang out with Joe Rogan. I was like, that's such a power move as a rapper. And this is right after like Joe Rogan got offered like $200 million. Like you're arm in arm. Oh, that's why they were together because Joe Rogan had got in trouble for like saying the N word a few years ago, and so I guess a bunch of N words, a bunch of N words reached out to him and was like, "Yo, you can say the N word. You good with me, homie?" And Freddie was one of those people. Somehow got to chill with Joe Rogan, but I say all that to say I kind of feel for Benny on this because they did a lot of music together, and I remember telling my cousin who's also shout out to you, Vision, I love you, bro. If you see this, I was telling him way before I even knew they had problems with each other. I was like, yo, the way Benny raps, how he constantly talks about his relationships with other rappers. I don't understand how him and Gibbs get along so well when they both seem like alphas. You know what I mean? Not to say that alphas don't get along, but the way they talk about other rappers and they're both peers in the rap genre, I'm like, yo, something's gonna go wrong in that relationship. And sure enough, it did. I called it way before it happened, and Gibbs ended up getting beat up in Buffalo the other day, man. That was unfortunate. I felt bad for Gibbs. I said, damn. He had to come out on his show with an eye jammy. He had a ski mask on and an eye jammy. I'm like, bro, if you got beef with a dude and you go to his city, you don't I mean it's mighty, what's the word? He's very confident to go out the way he did. And you know what? Shout out to everybody in that situation because there was no gun violence involved, and these are like gun rappers. Like when they had problems with each other, they just knuckled up. And I think at the end of the day, I always take the five over the one. Oh no, I'll always take the one and over the five. Because when you shoot the one, it's knuckles. When you shoot the five, that's the 5 pounder or something close to the 5 pounder or the 5 pound. I don't know why we call it the five, but everybody knows when you shoot the five, you're shooting a gun. Drake is popular, Kendrick and Cole is culture. Ooh, that's a heavy statement. Cause you know them Drake fans be going hard and they feel like they got their own little culture. Kendrick does get better with every album. I see that. What Jay Z did to Jay Electronica. I don't know why Jay Electronica don't stay away from Jay-Z. He'd be riding Jay-Z way too hard. Jay Electronica used to be one of my favorite artists, but I mean, oh, Chris is here. Vision. Vision. He said he not talking about. He said he not talking about Biddy and brain is wet. Shout out to my cousin Vision, man. Ah, I miss you, cuzzo. We be having the dopest conversations. I'm gonna have to probably call you after this. What up? What up? What up? Yo, I'm happy you caught this live too. I'm so happy people are checking in with me, man. Cause before you start this, I'm low key like, ain't nobody gonna show up. I'm gonna be there talking to myself. But I think I had like 50 people in here at one time, so that was dope. Yeah, we still kind of loosely talking about the Kendrick album. I ain't over it yet. Bandana is an iconic album, forever. Yo, forever. Joey the Badass, that's one of my guys right there. I've been on Joey the Badass since he was an underground rapper and nobody knew about him. When he was like handing out mixtapes and was on SoundCloud. Yeah, that's always been my guy. And shout out to him for transitioning into like Hollywood, the Hollywood role now. Cause he's doing big things as an actor. I really liked his performance in Mr. Robot. I think he has like an iconic figure. Like when you look at Joey the Badass's face, you see your ancestors. Take that for what you will. I also noticed that Joey, I think he always drops right after Kendrick. What? $10? Okay, throw that bread, make it rain. Shout out to Valeda. She just threw me $10 in front of everybody. Yeah, I'm forever grateful. I will proudly accept that 10 cash. That's gas right there. Yeah, the Beast Coast. All right, yeah. All right, we all caught up. All right, so that's the comments. We talked about albums. We talked about eating smarter. We talked about anime. Now let's get to what I just got in the mail. Shout out to I put this guy on my Instagram. I don't even know homie's name, but his company is called Wick Caps. And this is the first time I had ever been spotted dolo. I was in Grassroots one day, getting a smoothie, how I usually do. And him and his girl pulled up on me. It was like, yo, we like your video. We just saw it. I was like, me? How you? Oh, I guess I should take this for what it is. But thank you. I'm grateful. He was like, yo, I like to give you one of my products. I sell like stocking caps. So I was like, yeah, for sure. Put me up. So it's Wick Caps. We're going to get in there. Let's see what he wrote. He said, congratulations on being a part of the Wick Caps Friends and Family mailing list. This list is composed of specific individuals that embrace the movement from the beginning. I definitely support you, bro. Big time. Being a part of this family and friends mailing list includes free shipping and unreleased flavors before each drop date. So in here, he included some unreleased lemongrass flavored Wick Caps, or just unreleased colors of his Wick Caps. A 20-ounce cup. Let's get to it. Let's show, not tell, right? Appreciate the packaging. Styrofoam cups with his logo on it. That's dope. That is super dope. I don't drink the drink like that, but I know you're supposed to put it in a styrofoam cup. And now that I'm in Florida, I've never tried it, yo. I've never tried it, but as a rapper, I feel like I should have the what did they use? Like cough syrup and like Sprite? I think I should do it one time just to say that I did it, but if I had an editing tool, I'll probably edit that out because I don't want to influence nobody. Don't do illegal substances, even though I think Sprite and cough syrup is perfectly legal. And I don't know if it's illegal to actually mix them or not. Thank you, Marissa, for saying that you would love to see more lives. I really appreciate that. I really want to do this more because it's a lot simpler than trying to come up with a concept and then editing and all of that. Like that takes time. This is just like you'll park up and start talking your head off. And I'm really appreciative for everybody who listened to this and who's rocking with me an hour and 20 minutes later. So wood caps, black, gray, green. I like that. I like that lemongrass color. Green is my color like recently. This one that I have like the, I guess you would call it like vanilla. And then this is my favorite one, olive. And then he threw me some candy. This card. Shout out to you, my brother. Shout out to you for sending me that. And yeah, I'm not even going to show the Sean Stevenson stuff, but Sean Stevenson, if you want to see what he sent me, go to my Instagram. I have like a, what's it called? Instagram reel that I made just about unboxing the stuff that he sent me. We're in here, 121.17. Thank you so much for everybody rocking with me. As you already know, let's go to these comments one more time. CBD syrups with THC. Oh, there's CBD syrups with THC. I'm not a fan of CBD though. You know, I don't know why I'm not. It's just like I never, like I'm, one of my personal very good friends is the owner of the greatest CBD company on the planet, New Leaf. Shout out to you, bro. And I've had super supplies of CBD. And for some reason, it never calls me. Maybe it's because I'm never in pain or like I just feel like I feel great all the time for the most part. That I don't like. I look at it as a medicine that you need to take when you're feeling like under the weather or if you have a headache. Oh, I have taken CBD for headaches and it does work. I will say that, even though the dosage varies, and maybe it's because different things are causing my headache, but that's a whole nother conversation. So yeah. CBD syrup, might get a try. I just want to do it the way the rappers do it though, because it's like a rite of passage, I feel. Like I don't even want a lot. I just want like a little bit. Like let me get a little bit. So I can be like, yeah, I had that syrup before. I was going off that syrup. Yeah, man, New Leaf is a squad. Hey, it's Matt Live, Chat with Matt. Thank you for tuning in. If you're just tuning in, thank you for rocking with me this whole time. This chat has been about eating smarter, Sean Stevenson's extremely well written book. Love it to death. Love it, love it, love it. I talked about Boruto as an anime failing me and disappointing me horribly, but the manga keeping my hope alive. We talked about the Kendrick Lamar album. We talked about some various things in the hip hop genre. And yeah, I think this is where I'm going to end it. The 1, 2, 3 is right where I want to be. All right, y'all. Much love. Shout out to the Gods, Guardians, and the Gargantuans. I am currently shooting a video. Don't know when it's going to be out. The concept is basically me asking random people what their definition of love is. Because I feel like that would be an interesting video. And I try to interview only interesting looking people, because interesting looking people makes an interesting looking video, which is the whole point of YouTube. You already know. Hey man, oh, now they want to hit me with the questions. Have you ever messed with the Freedom Cell site? The Freedom Cell site, you and Little A are always welcome with my cell down here in Central Florida. I think just 1 or 2 active ones. Freedom Cell sites. Yeah, I gotta check that out. Third Eye Vision. Thank you so much. I suppose I could just Google it and Google will point me in the right direction, huh? I will definitely check that out because I'm trying to build a community out here. Like, and I'm doing pretty good, I must say. Shout out to Tiffany and Barry, looking out for me exponentially throughout this whole journey. She reached out to me, invited me over to the crib. She has a nice pool and we just be hanging out. So shout out to them. And yeah, I'm gonna check out this Freedom Cell site that you just mentioned. And with that, I'm out of here. Peace and love, y'all. Oh yeah, you know how it goes. Screenshot. Cheese.